All right, we're all up all night to get lucky. Maybe you'll get lucky this weekend. Transition out of that. Maybe you'll get lucky today if you get that ticket. I'm just going to stop talking.
Listen, I'm going to get the lottery. Netta, I'm going to get lucky because I get to sleep in. That's all I'm thinking about.
Thank you. Save me.
There you go.
Yes,
right?
Yes, of course. We are also in luck because we have a really nice sunrise. There you have it. Look at this view. I mean, those of you who are awake with us right now, these are the benefits of rising before the sun. I mean, we do have some low-lying clouds out there along the coast, but then thin clouds, and we're going to see all kinds of neat colors again. Did you miss the sunset yesterday? Because this sunrise, it'll compete right as good as that one. And look at these skies, Mount Woodson out towards the east, and that's already looking really good. We're still about an hour away from our official sunrise. Quick check of your headlines. Low visibility for some of you at the coast today. Temperatures slightly cooler than yesterday. Jenny.
Good morning to you. It's 6:01. Very quiet out on the roads. Your freeway times are fine. No major crashes reported. So on to Mr. Lucky here, Eric Hunter.
Thanks, Jenny. Capitol police officers, our top story here. Tragically, we got an update on this. An officer has died following injuries suffered during Wednesday's riot.
Our sister station in D.C. confirms Officer Brian Sicknick was hit in the head with a fire extinguisher before returning to his division office. He suffered a stroke then. He served over 12 years on the force. President
Trump condemned the violence and acknowledged he lost the 2020 election in a video released last night. Deborah Alfarone joins us live from Capitol Hill now with the latest. Deborah?
And I can tell you that in that video also, what President Trump said was that he is outraged at the violence, lawlessness, and mayhem. It is a very different sentiment from the video that he released right after that domestic terrorism event happened right here at the Capitol, when he sympathized seemingly with the rioters, saying basically, I know how you feel.
Facing talk of a forceful removal from office and the resignation of 2 cabinet members, President Trump released a video condemning the violence by his supporters.
The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defiled the seat of American democracy.
Citing the president's rhetoric on Wednesday,
"You'll never take back our country with weakness."
Education Secretary Betsy DeVos and Transportation Secretary Elaine Chao resigned.
Do you stand by this president dangerously staying in office?
Democrats are calling on the remaining cabinet members to remove the president using the 25th Amendment and threatening another impeachment.
He will be remembered for the rest of American history for death, division, and depression.
Federal law enforcement is working to identify those involved in Wednesday's assault. CBS News has learned that some of the rioters have stayed in the area and may be planning new attacks.
No one can tell me that if had been a group of Black Lives Matter protesting yesterday, they wouldn't have been treated very, very differently.
The Capitol Police Chief resigned amid intense criticism.
I've never seen a crowd that's less afraid of the police than this one.
In yesterday's video, President Trump discouraged any more violence.
We have just been through an intense election and emotions are high, but now tempers must be cooled.
Mr. Trump also acknowledged defeat and said he's focused on a smooth transition of power.
And until that transition of power happens, President Trump will not be able to post on Facebook, as the social media giant basically has pulled his Facebook. They say they're going to do that until Inauguration Day. Eric and Stella.
Deborah, we know you're in the Capitol there, and there's been some talk that protesters have been sticking around, maybe even plotting future things. Any security changes that you noticed as you're getting into work there?
Absolutely, yeah. As I walked in the same block that I always walk in, I saw 15 National Guard members. They are part of 6,200 National Guard members who are here now. And there's also 7-foot fencing. I can see it out the window here. They are now erecting that in time for the inauguration. And until that's put there and is all done, they've got barricades as well. So it is definitely stepped up.
Hopefully things remain peaceful there. All right. Thanks, Deborah. The family of an Ocean Beach woman killed during the chaos at the Capitol is opening up about their loved one.
The uncle of Ashley Babbitt says he wants his niece to be remembered as a patriot. News 8's Evan Arani is joining us live with that part of the story. Good morning, Evan.
Good morning to you. That is correct. We were able to speak with the uncle of Ashley Babbitt. The picture that he paints of Babbitt is in stark contrast to the one that was seen on Wednesday as those riots took place in the Capitol building. Babbitt was the person who was shot and killed by one of the Capitol police officers. Other people died in the riots but weren't directly killed by any Capitol police officers. And so this, of course, paints a different picture. And it is still kind of up for discussion and for debate as to how exactly Babbitt is being remembered, especially on social media, as both sides take to social media to voice their opinions. We do want to listen to some of the emotion that we heard from her uncle. We also want to caution you that some of the video you're about to see is discretionary. Take a look.
Someone who served her country and loved it and our democracy and ultimately gave her life for it.
And in her last moments of life, Babbitt was seen trying to force her way through a window that would give her closer access to the House chambers in the United States Capitol. That was after joining the mob that was trying to overturn the results of the 2020 election. Babbitt was a veteran of the United States Air Force, where she served multiple tours in Afghanistan. She had a strong social media presence that lasted all the way up until she died. She had been seen in several pictures and videos leading up to it, including pictures wearing shirts that had the QAnon conspiracy theory logo on it. In the wake of the riots, some of the social media call her a hero and a martyr. Others call her a domestic terrorist. Her uncle says she had been a part of several pro-Trump rallies prior to going to D.C. for this event. He says that she was determined to see President Trump reelected. Babbitt was an Ocean Beach resident who was the CEO of a pool service and supply company. Her family, including her 4 brothers and sisters and her parents, still live here in San Diego. Now, the officer who fired the shot that killed Babbitt is on administrative leave right now while that investigation is ongoing. That is routine procedure for an officer who's involved in a deadly shooting like this one. We, of course, will bring you the updated information, but this, of course, is just developing still, since we're just about 48 hours out from when this initial event took place. And as you mentioned, Eric and Stella, that one of those Capitol police officers has now died as a result of this rioting as well. So very much still developing information that we'll bring to you with the latest. Back to you.
We're following some breaking news. Crews are at the scene of a house fire in El Cajon, and this is chop right over the scene right now. This is at 1601 Pepper Hill Drive.
If you're just waking up and you're seeing these fire trucks in your area, that firefighters are there because there's a house fire. We don't know where this fire started, but we do see several fire engines on the scene, possibly blocking
3 or 4 streets
there, exactly.
In the center of your screen, you can see that smoke that's billowing from the home. It is a dark picture, so it's tough to see, but you can see that smoke billowing from that home right there on the corner.
So again, this is 1601 Pepper Hill Drive in El Cajon. Firefighters on the scene of a house fire there. We're going to try to gather some more information, and just as soon as we get it, do you see anything else? It's kind of hard to tell from this picture because it's so dark.
You can definitely tell there's a large response there, and they've got plenty of firefighters, so hopefully they can knock that down and everyone got out of the home safely. We will keep you posted.
Now to the very latest on the coronavirus. County officials are reporting 3,850 new cases out of more than 33,000 tests. That's an 11% positive rate. The county's 2-week rolling average for positive tests is just under 14%. 47 deaths were reported for a total of 1,738. Hospitalizations rose to a record 1,734. Of those, 395 patients are in the ICU. ICU capacity in the Southern California region remains at 0%. And today we could learn more about the region's COVID vaccine distribution strategy. A virtual meeting is being held this morning on the county's plan as leaders try to speed up this rollout. Chris Groh will have more on who is now eligible to get this vaccine. That's all coming up at 6:30 this morning.
And this just in, more signs that the U.S. economy is faltering. The Labor Department says employers cut 140,000 jobs in December, marking the first monthly loss since April. The figures suggest that employers have rehired roughly all the workers they can afford to after having laid off more than 22 million in the spring. The unemployment rate is at 6.7%.
Let's go ahead and check in with Netta now for a look at our forecast. Happy Friday. Look at that sunrise. You predicted it this morning because last night the sunset was gorgeous, so the sunrise is going to be just as nice.
It's so nice. I mean, it's the same weather pattern we've had the past few days where all these storms keep hitting the Pacific Northwest, and then we get the tail end of just these literally high clouds. That's it. So that's what's bringing on these really nice sunrises and sunsets. And here we go. We get another one today. So you're going to see a lot of really pretty colors here over the next 30 to 60 minutes. Right now, you're already getting some of that. This is the view from the catamaran, Mission Bay. So the good news here is that fog that was right over the water, it's now moved on, so we can see that sky. Here's also an east-facing camera right on Mount Woodson, where look how pretty that is. I mean, this is just such a treat. Back-to-back days of such pretty skies and so many colors, thanks to where those clouds are sitting. When they're thin and high enough, they don't obstruct our views. Instead, they just add to it. So we get a nice array. San Miguel's camera also not disappointing, looking out towards the east. Now, officially, the sun will be up at 6:52, and so we'll start to see a brighter glow here. But across the county, you'll get more of those colors over the next several minutes. Now, visibility for some of you, still not the best right there by downtown San Diego, near Harbor Island, IB. We're down to 2-mile visibility by the airport, 1-mile visibility. The rest of the county seems to be doing fine as far as driving around town goes, not necessarily as dense of fog that we've been seeing, but overall just that sliver along the coast. Here's a look at those higher clouds coming in from the north. And again, there are plenty of storms. They're just not reaching us. All we're getting is really, really nice views. So overall, you know, lucky to be in San Diego because of that.